Hello, everyone, and welcome to the DNA virtual workshop. Apologies for a few second delay in starting. We had some technical difficulties that we have been able to rise above. This is our monthly DNA book workshop where I offer practical, accessible, consumable tidbits from my book, Detox, Nourish, Activate, Plant and Vibrational Medicine for Energy, Mood, and Love. And it's co-authored with my ally with the plants, Dr. Lulu Shemek. So every week, rather every month, I come on and share a little bit of insight, a teaching of alchemy, some information to be able to inspire you along your own journey of healing, awakening, and self mastery. And so this month, we're going to be talking about patterning. So, for those of you that don't have the book and you're interested, you can go ahead to AdoraWinquist.com. There is a DNA book link on that website where you can go ahead and purchase, if you're in the US, from Amazon, you can purchase a signed copy from yours truly. You can also purchase from aeon.co.uk, Aeon Books in London, who is my publisher. And there are many other sites as well, including Barnes and Noble. And depending on what country you're in, you can find some other links there as well. So let's talk a little bit. We mentioned in a previous one why the book is called Detox, Nourish, Activate, how it's really a play on words for DNA, because this book is all about how we can heal at the DNA level. So, how we can heal from generations past at the heritage level, our lineage level, what we've carried to not only in this life or through other lifetimes, but what we carry within ourselves in genetic coding, and from the perspective of not just trauma, but belief systems, mental and emotional patternings, and predispositions to our connection with spirit. So I apologize if the Wi-Fi is a little bit wonky right now, but we'll make sure that we can get this going, and this will be recorded as well. I also encourage and invite you to bring your questions to the next segments that we have every month. You can also send those questions to me at adorawinquist.com. So, giving you a little bit of a background about the book, about DNA healing. Also, why are we referring to energy, mood, and love? And this is very important because each of these keywords connect into a system within our body. Right. So, energy connecting into the adrenal system. It's such an important system, so critical to not only our stress response, to our overall energy, and not as often talked about as I think should be, right? Caring for our adrenal health is imperative, and you'll find in the book many, many, many recipes, many DIY tips and insights that you can do at home to support your adrenal system. And that's one of the benefits of this book. It is truly a revolutionary guide to your healing journey, and everything from the physiological perspective to the psycho-spiritual, meaning your mental processes, your emotional resilience, and your spiritual connections. So, when we talk about love, of course, we're relating to the heart. We're relating to the heart not just as an organ, but from our energetic and emotional construct as well. And when we think about mood and having a healthy, happy, balanced mood more consistently, we, of course, think about the brain and the nervous system. So each of these three key critical systems of our bodies, of our beings, are addressed in three different phases: to detox, to nourish, and then to activate. Because think about it, if you were going to go right now to your favorite store and you had an unlimited budget to be able to spend on every aspect of nutrition, of hydration, of supplements, of aromatics, of everything that you know is going to optimize your experience of life, your well being, your health, and your harmony. And so you go and you purchase all of these wonderful things and then you bring them home and you open the door to your home and your house is messy. You have clutter, you have disarray, you have disharmony that is felt from an intangible perspective and also experienced from a visual and a visceral perspective as well. And then you open up the refrigerator, which you haven't cleaned out in quite a while, and you have things that are in there growing in ways that we certainly know they shouldn't be. And so if you were to put all of this wonderful nourishment into your home and in particular into your refrigerator with all the food decomposing, well, what's going to happen? The food that you put in is going to break down, it's going to decompose from the bacteria more quickly, right? And so it is the same for us. We have an intention, something that we want to cultivate in our lives, something that we want to create, some experience of betterment in our lives. And yet, if we haven't cleaned out the old ways of being from our soul to our cells, how do we have the space to embody that new experience that we long for? And maybe we can embody it for a moment, but sustainably, we don't have the bandwidth, right, to make those sustainable shifts and changes that we long to, and that will allow us to activate our highest experience of life, harnessing the power of our vital life force, harnessing the power of our intention, and harnessing the coding that is held within us with all of our soul's longings and desires that we have come into this life to experience and to embody. So that is really such an important premise with this book, is that for each system of the body, we're going to work with all these alchemical aspects to detox, to nourish, and to activate. Now, I think that one thing that's really important when we start to look at our lives and we have an intention, something to experience in a better, in a greater way in our lives, whether it's through our bank account, right? From the perspective of prosperity, whether it's in our relationships, deeper relationships, greater intimacy, greater authenticity of speaking our truth, and embodying our highest path and purpose, whether it's those things, whether it's healing a chronic or acute disease process within our body and being, whether it's finding deeper meaning within our work, right? Our passion and purpose. We all have patterns that repeat themselves, and some of them repeat in ways that we certainly do not desire. And so this is a really important focus of the book, is how can we shift these patterns at the core level, at the DNA level, how can we shift them holographically throughout all of who we are to create those sustainable shifts? And then, as a stepping stone effect, creating better in each moment, and then further magnetizing greater and better experiences in our life. So, when we start to look at those patterns, one of the most primary places to look is in what I call our early childhood treasure map. And in this treasure map that is influenced by our early childhood dynamics, family constellations, and in particular, the dynamics between ourselves and our mother and father, and what's modeled in our home, we can start to observe all of the core teachings that we've come into this life to heal, to awaken to transmute. Right. So when we start to look at those traumatic patternings, or any of those habitual patterns that were populated in our early childhood, well, then we have a beautiful map that we can follow and really start to hone in on the aspects to bring healing, to bring greater awareness, and to bring all of these wonderful aspects of alchemy from the DNA book to our healing journey, where we can then curate our own pathway of self mastery with not only essential oils and herbs, but meditation and nutrition and crystals and flower essences, meditation and mantras, affirmations, all of these ways that we can empower our best life and really get into those core level patternings and begin to transmute them through deeper understanding, right? Because if we've come into this life to understand something about ourselves, well, we can't let that go until we've reached that tipping point of greater understanding. And it's not until that time that we can transmute and dissolve those patterns and be able to move on for them, because there are things that we have come into this life at the soul level to experience. And that's why you'll hear me so often saying, your soul work is your soul work. Because in truth, we each have a unique gift. So you have a unique set of gifts and light that only you can bring to not only your personal journey of healing, of awakening, of transformation, but ultimately through that pathway that you can bring to serve the greater good of all. Right. And so with that comes the acknowledgement that every single moment of your life has brought you perfectly here and now. Every single step since your first, every single breath you've taken since your first has brought you perfectly here and now, to come into deeper understanding, deeper coherence, deeper levels of compassion, acceptance, and self love for who you are and the full gamut of your journey in life. So, some of the wonderful benefits of the book is that it is rich with discovery dives. So, you can get really honest with yourselves, because we know that we certainly cannot be honest with anyone else in our lives until we're first honest with ourselves, and really come in to look at the places that are held within us, the patterns that are held within us that no longer serve the highest good of who we are. And so, how do we then shift them? How do we then transform them in a way that they become a path of elevation for us versus consternation, versus, "Ugh, look at all of the ways that I haven't succeeded. Look at all of these ways that I've fallen down. Look at all of these ways that I've betrayed myself or another." Well, coming into a deep place of compassion for every step of our journey means embracing all of who we are, right? And it is through that embracing of all of who we are that we can come into a deeper understanding and claim our greatness, right? As these incredible creators of our life, as divinely activated through the sovereignty, the abundance that is our birthright to pave a way into the future. So, coming back to the fact that these are meant to be very small lives where just a bit of a tantalizing insight, alchemy, questioning can then further inspire your journey and your awakening, and you finding all of those resources around, but more importantly, within you. Because the truth is, you do have everything you need to heal within you at the deepest level. So, for those of you that are interested, that you don't have the book, it is called Detox, Nourish, Activate, Plant and Vibrational Medicine for Energy, Mood, and Love. And you can find out information on how to purchase at Amazon.com or at AdoraWinquist.com. And next month, we're going to be exploring the Freedom Photon Wheel and what photons really are at the cellular level, how our cells are infused with so much intelligence, with information, and how they connect through biophotons, which is essentially light. And, one last thing I'd like to just share with you and leave you with this question or this point of contemplation. Because so often we hear that we are these physical beings, and we are coming into a deeper curiosity and exploration of our spiritual nature. But I think it's actually quite the opposite, that we are these infinitely vast spiritual beings that are here in physical embodiment to learn how to master the game of life on this beautiful, sacred planet, our home that we call Mother Earth. So until then, please visit AdoraWinquist.com and subscribe to our newsletter. And that way you can hear all about our quantum community and the alchemy library that is launching this week. Please subscribe to the channel and ring the bell for notifications. And share this so we can continue to grow this quantum community that is all about coming into a deeper remembrance of adoring and honoring ourselves as the beloved one, which is really the true meaning of the name Adora. So until next month, many blessings.